Hello, welcome to my channel. Ever considered how a single slice of meat could spark a nationwide health crisis? Let's journey back a bit. It's late November of 2023. The holiday season is knocking at the door. Families are getting ready for their jubilant meals. Charcuterie meats are a popular item on their shopping lists. Unbeknownst to them, these meats were about to dish out more than just taste. In residences across 30 states, individuals from the tender age of infants to the old age of nonagenarians fell ill. The common denominator? They'd all indulged in charcuterie meats. Soon, the health authorities were swamped with reports of illness. The symptoms were distressing: abdominal cramps, fever, diarrhea. Initially, they seemed like typical food poisoning, but the escalating number of cases signaled something more ominous. The offender was Salmonella, a bacteria infamous for causing havoc in the human digestive system. This wasn't your run-of-the-mill foodborne illness. The magnitude of the outbreak was startling: 90 confirmed cases and rising, 18 hospitalizations. The most heartbreaking part? The actual scope of this outbreak is probably larger, concealed by underreporting and insufficient testing. The outbreak made no distinctions. It affected the youngest, the oldest, and everyone in between. This invisible enemy had penetrated homes, quietly disrupting the lives of unsuspecting individuals, transforming a season of joy into a season of worry. Thus, the invisible adversary had announced its presence, silently infiltrating homes and lives. But how did investigators trace back to the source of the infection? This question marks the beginning of a complex and meticulous process of identifying the origin of the Salmonella outbreak. Fratelli Beretta charcuterie products, a popular choice for many, soon found themselves at the center of this health crisis. But how did this happen? Well, it all comes down to a mix of scientific detective work, advanced technology, and sheer persistence. When an outbreak occurs, every piece of the puzzle is crucial. Patients' histories, their symptoms, what and where they ate, all these details matter. In this case, a common thread began to emerge. Many of those affected had consumed charcuterie meats. But that wasn't enough. Investigators needed definitive proof, and that's where whole genome sequencing came into play. This advanced technology allows scientists to examine the DNA of the Salmonella bacteria found in the patients. It's akin to fingerprinting, but for bacteria. In our story, when the Salmonella strain from the sick individuals was compared to that found in the Fratelli Beretta charcuterie sampler, the results were a match. This was the smoking gun investigators were looking for. The Salmonella strain in the charcuterie products was identical to the one causing the illnesses. This discovery was a major breakthrough. It not only confirmed the source of the outbreak, but also allowed for immediate action to be taken to prevent further spread of the infection. With the source identified, the battle against the outbreak had truly begun. The next steps would involve recalls, public advisories, and a deep dive into the threat of antibiotic resistance. But those are stories for another scene. For now, we know the culprit, and the quest for food safety continues. Once the culprit was identified, what steps were taken to control the outbreak? An important question, indeed. The answer lies in the swift response by Fratelli Beretta USA Inc., the producers of the charcuterie meats linked to the Salmonella outbreak. As soon as the connection was made, the company recalled an astounding 862,000 pounds of uncured antipasto products. This was no small task, as these products had already been shipped to retailers nationwide. Among the affected retailers was Costco, a major player in the retail industry. The company promptly responded to the recall, urging its customers not to consume the recalled products and to return them immediately. This swift and responsible action played a crucial role in preventing the further spread of the outbreak. But the recall was just the first step. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, also stepped into the picture with some valuable advice. Recognizing the risk posed by the Salmonella bacteria, the CDC advised consumers to heat Italian-style meats to 165 degrees Fahrenheit before consumption. This temperature is known to kill Salmonella bacteria, thereby reducing the risk of infection. This advice was especially important for high-risk individuals, including infants, children, seniors, and those with compromised immune systems. For these individuals, a salmonella infection could be particularly severe, and prevention was of utmost importance. As we can see, the response to the salmonella outbreak was multifaceted, involving manufacturers, retailers, health organizations, and, of course, the consumers themselves. Each played a critical role in controlling the outbreak and preventing further illnesses. The recall was a critical step, but the fight against the outbreak was far from over. Indeed, as we move to the next scene, we delve into another daunting aspect of this outbreak, the threat of antibiotic resistance. But that's a story for another scene. For now, let's applaud the swift action taken by all parties in response to this outbreak. It's a testament to the power of quick action and collaboration in the face of a public health crisis. But why was this outbreak particularly concerning, you might ask? Well, beyond the immediate threat to public health, the Salmonella outbreak linked to charcuterie meats posed another alarming challenge: antibiotic resistance. You see, antibiotic resistance happens when bacteria like Salmonella evolve in such a way that they can withstand the drugs designed to kill them. This essentially makes our first line of defense useless. In the case of this outbreak, some instances of the Salmonella strain found in the charcuterie products showed signs of this resistance, complicating the treatment process. Now imagine being in a battle where your weapons suddenly stop working. That's what it's like for doctors trying to treat an antibiotic-resistant infection. The usual drugs, like amoxicillin or ciprofloxacin, that might ordinarily knock out a salmonella infection, simply bounce off the bacteria's defenses. And here's where it gets even scarier. Antibiotic resistance doesn't just make treatment more difficult, it also makes the disease more dangerous. Without effective treatment, the duration of illness can be longer, the risk of complications can increase, and in the worst-case scenario, it can even be fatal. In the case of this outbreak, the antibiotic resistance meant that people who were already vulnerable, infants, seniors, and those with weakened immune systems, were at an even greater risk. It's like adding fuel to a fire. But it's not all doom and gloom. This situation serves as a wake-up call. It highlights the urgency of addressing the issue of antibiotic resistance on a global scale. We need to find new treatments, sure, but we also need to use our existing antibiotics responsibly to slow down the development of resistance. The outbreak was not just about food safety, but also a stark reminder of the growing threat of antibiotic resistance. It's a red flag, a warning sign, a call to action. Because if we don't act now, we may find ourselves in a post-antibiotic era where common infections and minor injuries can once again kill. So what can we learn from this outbreak? Well, it all boils down to one crucial aspect: food safety. Food safety isn't just a matter of checking expiration dates on packages or washing your hands before a meal. It's about ensuring that what you consume isn't going to harm you or your loved ones. Think about the Salmonella outbreak linked to charcuterie meats. Consider the consequences of neglecting food safety. Nearly 90 people across 30 states fell ill, with some even requiring hospitalization. The range of affected individuals spanned from infants to seniors, a stark reminder that no one is immune to the potential risks. Salmonella infection, for instance, isn't something you can simply shrug off. It manifests in symptoms like diarrhea, abdominal cramps, and fever, which can easily be mistaken for other illnesses. This is why special tests are necessary for diagnosis. Without these tests, the true cause of the illness can be overlooked, leading to more people becoming infected. High-risk groups, such as infants, children, seniors, and those with compromised immune systems, are particularly vulnerable. They're more likely to experience severe symptoms, and their recovery might be more challenging. This makes it even more vital for these individuals and those around them to take precautions when handling and consuming food. Food safety is not just about preventing outbreaks. It's also about maintaining our overall health and well-being. By adhering to food safety practices, we can reduce the risk of foodborne illnesses, ensuring that our meals nourish us rather than harm us. While the outbreak was a dire situation, it serves as a stark reminder of the importance of food safety in our daily lives. Let's not wait for another outbreak to remind us. Instead, let's make food safety a priority, every meal, every day. So how can we take action to prioritize food safety? Firstly, it's about being conscious and intentional with our food choices. Opting for fresh, locally sourced produce when possible can reduce the risk of contamination during transportation and storage. When buying packaged food, always check the expiration date and packaging integrity. Avoid products with damaged packaging or those that have been stored improperly. Secondly, proper food handling is crucial. Always wash your hands before and after handling food, especially raw meat. Use separate cutting boards and utensils for raw and cooked food to prevent cross-contamination. Cook food to recommended temperatures and refrigerate leftovers promptly. Lastly, be aware of recalls and food safety news. Stay informed about the latest food recalls and safety alerts in your area. This knowledge can help you avoid potentially contaminated food. Remember, knowledge is power. The more informed we are, the better we can protect ourselves and our loved ones from foodborne illnesses. So let's take a proactive stance on food safety and make it a part of our daily routine. And remember, health is wealth, and prevention is better than cure. Don't wait for another outbreak to make food safety a priority. Make it a habit today and every day. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more health-related topics. Stay safe, stay informed.